welcome back everyone to episode 35 of Show and Tell. This is just my small adventure highlighting the creators and contributors to the Magic the Gathering community. Today I'm super excited to be joined by cosplayer, show host, Bird of Paradise, Jane from Jane Plays Magic. Hi Jane, how are you doing?
Hi. I am so excited to be here. I am doing great. It is afternoon and I have had cheesecake already, so things are great over here.
I love cheesecake. Is cheesecake a cake or a pie, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's hard. It depends on the shape, I feel like. This one is cake-shaped, but there are pie-shaped cheesecakes also.
That's interesting. I don't really care what it is because I love cheesecake so much. I will eat so much cheesecake. Oh, way too much cheesecake. We have a cheesecake factory that's like walkable. And
ooh, dangerous.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of like, let's go to dinner and cheesecake. And it's like, can we get a piece of this chocolate chip Reese's peanut butter monstrosity to go? And they're like, yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's real good. It's real good. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me this evening. Very excited to have you on. And I always like to joke that's not funny, but the best place to start is the beginning. So why don't you tell me about what got you into Magic and when did you start playing? What was the how'd that work out for you?
Well, I remember a long time where we, moved houses and my partner had this briefcase and it was just full of these annoying cards and they were so heavy and we didn't have a spot to put them. And I must have tried to convince him to get rid of them, just throw them away or sell them or whatever, probably 15 times.
Oh, no.
Every time we moved, every time I had to drag them out of the closet or whatever. And then COVID rolled around and we needed something to do and he pulled out the briefcase. We started, he had a bunch of starter decks like the, Nissa versus Obnixilis is the one that we played a lot.
Yeah.
So we reconstituted those from his collection and we faced off with those a whole bunch, which is why I really love when Magic puts out a little 60 card deck that is just intended to fight against each other. I love how easy it is to learn the rules when you are doing repeatable things like that. So yeah, that was me and my partner just on the table outside while we were, smoking a joint or whatever.
Yeah.
Unsleeved, absolutely no care in the world for these cards that were worth nothing anyway.
That's Magic in its purest form. Something like reminiscing of playing Magic on a sidewalk with no sleeves back. Just like, what is that? What are sleeves? I don't understand. I'm just going to throw it in my backpack and go to my next junior high class, Oh, that's too funny. It's funny. 60 card format's very underrated. I know a lot of people like
Truly.
Commander, but you can really, I think, turn people onto Magic maybe a little faster playing a 60 card deck than Commander. I force all my friends who want to learn Magic for me to play Commander because that's how I want to play. So I guess I'm going to teach you, but I'm a big proponent of 60 card formats, just in general, because that's nostalgia and. Less cards you really got to worry about, I guess, in the short term.
Huge shout out to my partner for recognizing that I wasn't into big stompy decks and getting the Might versus Mind decks for me. Maybe the best 60 card constructed decks I've ever played. There's a secret mystery inside of them. You have to cast 3 spells and then you get to dig through your library and find this big creature called the Unspeakable and put it out for free. I just thought that was the most fun thing I had ever seen. And I was like, maybe I'm Grixis.
Maybe I'm Grixis Curlies. Well, that's pretty wild. So you started just learning Welcome Deaths, middle of COVID. That's a refrain I feel like we hear a lot kind of these days, weird times. So from there, did you just kind of jump into it, or were you still kind of like, okay, well, we brought out the nuclear football, we played some Magic, this is cool, but, jump into like a 60 card format, or like where'd you go from there?
I will say we spent probably 3 years without going to any game stores or anything. We bought precons.
Okay.
And we just fought precons against our friends. And we built, a hot stack of just absolute garbage of, the Zendikar chaff that my partner's, collection was made out of. I had a lot of Allies decks. So I'm really excited about the Avatar Allies return.
Coming back around, times.
Hopefully they will be playable. So that'd be really fun.
I'm sure there'll be something in there. There's usually some, diamonds in the rough from those older sets. So So we went from playing welcome starter decks outside to just piles of Jaff Traff to hosting your own YouTube gameplay channel with a studio and production values. What?
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean, I've seen the show. I mean, if you haven't seen Jane Plays Magic on YouTube, we'll definitely link that below. But it's always interesting for me when someone takes that leap from just fan of the game, player of the game, to, you know, I'm going to go and start making content, making videos. What kind of inspired that jump for you?
Yeah, I guess I really wanted to watch a certain kind of magic,
Okay.
and I just couldn't find it. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll make that. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Okay. It's so funny when I hear stuff like that, because there's this really, I don't know if it's old in one sense, but not old in another sense. I think it was an animated movie called Robots, and it was Ewan McGregor and I think Robin Williams for voices. And it's about like a robot who wants to be an inventor. This is a really weird story, but it'll get somewhere, I promise. But anyways, one of his credos, his motivating factors, you know, Ewan McGregor's character, he's like a young robot. His idol is an inventor, and he wants to be an inventor. And the credo is see a need, fill a need. And I've always like, you know, and there's really weird. I think it might have been like a DreamWorks. You know, it's not even a Pixar, right? But like, this kind of random movie from those mid-aught 2000s, and like this little quote has always kind of stuck with me. And it's like, oh, you know, see a need, fill a need. Like, oh, it's so basic, but it's such a, like, you know, insightful piece of dialogue to kind of, it's always stuck with me. And yeah, so like I can imagine, you know, so what kind, like, what did you want to see that you weren't seeing, that you're like, well, let me take up this flag and be that flag bearer?
I want to watch a table with 4 gay people yelling, and there just isn't that on the internet. The people, I feel like as soon as I started making this kind of content, everyone started doing it too, so maybe we all saw this need at the same time. There's a lot of us now, and it's really great and amazing. But I would say probably a year and a half ago when I first started doing Jane Plays Magic stuff, there were only a couple girlies out here doing it, you know, Scry Babies were out here, you know, Good Luck High Five.
Yeah.
But as far as like kind of top level professional magic play stuff, which is absolutely not what we're doing, but like for the top level stuff that when you go on YouTube and you search Magic the Gathering, that's what comes up, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to see more queer faces in that space, and like the kind of games that I like to play, which are, you know, bracket 1, bracket 2, like the vibes are, we are not trying to just murder each other at the maximum possible thing.
Yeah.
So something I do with my gameplay that I think is really important is I don't cut time, which means if you are in the tank, you're thinking, and we're chatting over you, you're sitting at the table with us.
Okay.
And that kind of like kitchen table gameplay is what I really like, what draws me in, what makes me feel like I'm a part of the friend group at the table, you know, which is what we're all looking for in our media.
Yeah.
Especially if it's kind of second screen content, which a lot of Magic content is. People watch my streams and stuff while they're working because it feels like they're hanging out with their friends.
Yeah.
So that's the little niche that we're trying to fill.
It's a good niche. I definitely can understand the importance and the fun of just the table banter and just the jokes and the riffing and the ribbing and all that. You know, that's I think that's really, for a lot of people, that's what makes Commander, right? Is the just the hang. This obviously is, you know, it's a social game, it's a social aspect, and that's being able to capture that and distill it like into a show. I think is something that you don't necessarily see a lot from a gameplay show, right? Like to your point, a lot of shows are either very compact and edited, or they're very high production value from like graphics, graphical kind of standpoint. You know,
Good Time Society's out there too. They're killing it. They're amazing, but we could not possibly.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, I think in an even further point, like there are a lot of Magic players who, you know, look like me, right? Just white, cis hetero guys who, you see that a lot. But like the Magic community is like so much more than that. And I think what I've discovered as I've really kind of delved into more than just being someone who plays the game casually and engaging with people and making friends and meeting people is there's a very large community, you know, of queer, trans people who just love this game. And for the most part, the community is very accepting in a way that I have been honored to see and be a part of in my own ways that I can support and kind of try to help put forward. I know, like, for you, I think one of your big just driving forces as a person is the...
Ooh, read me to filth. Let's hear it.
You know, desire, you know, pushing for, you know, freedom of expression, cultivating communities, spaces for everyone. I I know. I think I have some inside baseball. I have a pre-show thing. I have my guests fill out. And you talk about the importance of third spaces. And I find the idea of a third space very interesting. My wife's a professor, and she's talked about it. She crystallizes for me. It's one of those things where I think when it's explained to you, it makes sense. Like, oh yeah, that but like the idea of a third space is something we maybe don't we see as much anymore because of social media and phones and this and that.
Yeah.
But I guess what to you, like, what is your what value do you place on like a third space and being able to kind of create that kind of safe environment for people?
Yeah. So a third space is sort of, if you are at your house or at your friend's house, that's your primary space, right? And each of you has your two spaces that you can be in and exist in, and you don't have to pay anybody money to do that.
Yeah.
But a third space is like maybe a library where you would go and meet your friend and, hang out. You're not expected to pay anything. This space exists just for you to be there in. And this is something that we talk about a lot when it comes to kids, because kids have less access to funds, kids have less access to transport and stuff like that. So it's really important for sort of that social development to have these third spaces where you can engage with other people. And sort of in our current society, in the way that we have it, certain people have access to these third spaces, can pay the money to be there, can, get rides around to go do these things, and certain people don't. And I think Magic really fills in for that third space for a lot of people who can get their Commander deck together and make it down to a Commander game shop. And you can see that when you go into a Magic shop. It's the locals, it's the same regular guests. Yeah. And you can see how important that space for creativity and play is for them. But for me, my LGS is not my third space. If I'm going to play with friends, I'm inviting them to my house, or I'm going to their house, yeah. Which is, it's a pressure. It's a social pressure of hosting. You have to clean your bathroom, like all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's a little harder than just getting together and going to the LGS. And I know this is not unique to me. A lot of women, a lot of queer people in the Magic space experience this sort of, I don't want to say like lack, because it does exist, but sort of like a being pushed out of this third space that all of us Magic players engage in. And so that's why I think it's really, really important to create third spaces that are intentional communities that specifically cater to marginalized groups in the Magic community, because then you are creating this free third space for people to hang out in. And, a Twitch stream can be a digital version of that, but ideally these third spaces are somewhere in person where you can go and be seen by your community and be seen in so many ways creatively, in the way that you want to be seen. And that's really powerful, just being seen by your peers.
It is. I think the idea of intentionality is a very important aspect in a lot of, any sort of endeavor, really. Because it's very easy to say, just, do this thing or go out and make this thing or create this thing. But, usually, a successful, YouTube channel or cosplayer or streamer get to that point, through intentionality. There's a process, there's a plan, there's a...
God, I wish it could happen by accident.
Yeah. Sometimes people do go viral for whatever reason, but for the most part, I would say, and even going viral a lot of times, for every 100 viral whatever, usually, I don't know, I'm just making up numbers now, but I wouldn't be surprised if 99, 98, 95% of the time is the person going viral has a background of something they've already built to some degree. So it's you're making your own luck in a little bit of a way. I'm sure there is someone who just is that one person every now and again that just posts a thing and it explodes, and then all of a sudden they're the face of something. But I think for one of the biggest misconceptions people have for streamers or YouTubers or just content creators in general is it's just, they just film a thing and throw it up there. Not really the case. Yeah. So, it
takes 10 hours of editing labor to get one episode of Jane Plays Magic out.
I was going to say, if there's someone who can talk about planning and intentionality, I know it's you. We were kind of joking about this before. But I've seen, I think you actually gave a very, and I'll link it, intriguing, what's the word I'm looking for? Just great tabletop talks, presentation about just planning and organizing and a YouTube show, right? I think it was based on your. So So yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what's the hardest part I think you've discovered as you've kind of like launched into this YouTube world, like when you've kind of gotten to a place now where I think you probably have a pretty good rhythm at least. I've seen your planner, so it's definitely a lot. But like what now, kind of looking back, what you're like, oh man, this was like something I was not really prepared for, or like this is kind of a difficult thing. Anything that kind of jumps out to you?
I think scaling is sort of the thing that I'm hitting a wall with the most right now.
Yes.
Because like I said, every episode takes 10 hours of editing labor, and there are only so many hours of editing labor available in a day. So I'm at the point where it's pretty much impossible to put out an entire show as like, and I've never been a one-person team. It's me and my partner who is my editor.
Yeah.
And we've always worked together for my other job also, and it transitioned really easily here. But the workload is a little bit different for Magic content because it is so heavy on editing time.
Yeah.
I could shoot an episode and not have it out for 6 months because you have to put 10 dedicated hours of work into this, and it's hard to get that.
Yeah.
So scaling, I think, is a problem that I see a lot of creators hitting this same wall with me, and I'm trying to learn from them and figure out how to get over. So hopefully I'll see you on the other side of that in a few months.
Hopefully so. Definitely rooting for you. Yeah, it's funny, like, as a creator, as someone, like, for me, I do this, it's more of like a passion project I do kind of on the side, right? So
That's how we all start, I think.
Yeah, right? That's really the baseline of it. And, of course, like, I'd like to be bigger, or maybe I'd have a bigger reach. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But like you kind of hit points where like I'm at a point now where I'm pretty happy with what I do and what I put out. But like it's like how do I get to, the next floor in the building, right? How do I kind of get to that next level? Some people hit a point where they're looking to scale. Like, well, how can I go from 500 views to a video to 5,000 views on a video, which if you think about it in the grand scheme of like YouTubers or videos, like 5,000 might not be a lot for a top tier kind of someone producing content, but like I'm sure
that's 5,000 eyeballs.
Yeah,
it's 5,000 human people who stopped their day and spent their time looking at you doing a silly little Commander game joke.
Yep.
I love that. You have to think about like if you fit 5,000 people in this room with you, what would that feel like? When they all look at you while you're performing this silly little stupid thing,
That's
it feels different.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I used to. I don't even think. I'm trying to think the most amount of people I've ever been in front of. I played in a band in college, and no one really came to our shows unless we gave away the tickets for free and bought a bunch of pitchers of beer. But even then, I don't think we even cracked like 100 people. Small little bars.
But even 100 people,
Yeah.
I'm a person who always has that itch for performance. At every point in my life, I've had some sort of outlet for that. And I think it's really, really important to do something kind of stupid and play the fool and be fun and funny in front of people and experience like the sort of social connection that you get both ways from that. How satisfying it is to like satisfy an audience. And how like cool it is to be viewed as somebody who people want to sit and watch, even if it's 10 people, even if it's one person who comes to your streams and watches you and thinks you're rad as hell. Like it's powerful. It really is.
It is. I remember, it's funny, because growing up, I was always very introverted, very shy. Still pretty shy today, probably, if you've been with me for the first time. But, to play in a band and then to perform, when I'm on stage, like that was that rush, that adrenaline, and I remember the guitarist in my band, shout out Uncle Howard, as we called him, Train Tracks. He'd be like, "Listen, no matter Train Tracks, yeah, no matter how bad we sound or how whatever we were playing, like when you're on stage, like everyone kind of wishes they were up there. So like just kind of, and I've always kind of taken that thought with me. It's like like when I'm up there, like I seize the moment, grab that and kind of run with it. So there's a lot to be said about the fun of performing and being in front of people and kind of making something happen, So do you have a background in like performance or anything? Like, I mean,
Ooh, how long do you have?
I have to say, you ooze charisma. Like you just people. I can see it. So like, I'd be surprised. But yeah, talk to me about your background. What is Jane's background like?
It's funny that you say that, and I've had people tell me this before that they don't think I have anxiety or anything, but I do. It's just, you have to get over it at a certain point.
Yeah.
I still feel all those feelings of like, oh, I'm messaging this person who like doesn't know me. How embarrassing. Like they're going to throw rotten tomatoes at me and hate me or something. But it doesn't work out that way. Even if you talk to somebody and they like do not want to interact with you, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you?
Yeah.
And like I take my little anxiety brain and I run it through the scenario. I'm like, okay, I'm reaching out to Anna Margaret, for example, who is very, 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 very kind. You know, big reach though, big ask. She's incredible. She's like way more famous than me. But like, you know, you talk yourself up. You talk about what you're going to do with her. You know, you say how you're going to like collab on something and like, you know, it works out.
Yeah. It's
Anna Margaret's coming on a tabletop talk.
There you go. Yeah, look forward to that one. I'm gonna make a note. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am someone who started this show on a whim, and like I've just parlayed reaching out to people and just asking people or seeing people at conventions to be like, hey, I do this thing. Like, if you're ever interested, like, here's my car, you know, and then just following up and just to your point, the worst, you know, for the most part, unless someone's a real jerk, which if that's the case, you probably don't want to really deal with them anyways. But either people are like really cool, like, yeah, I'd love to do that, or like, oh, I can't, I don't have the time, or I'm not sure.
You ask a performer to spend 2 hours talking about themselves, you know.
That's true. I mean, I have it easy. Most people, you know, when I'm like, hey, do you want to come talk about yourself for 2 hours? They're like, hell yeah, I do. Like, let's do it. But
anyway, speaking of how I started doing performing.
Yes, please.
I was in my very first play in middle school, and I was Pan in Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, okay.
And everyone else forgot their lines, and I was in my stupid little tights playing a man on stage, and, you know, clearly not enjoying my role. But, like, the being on stage part, I was like, that's kind of rad. I could get into that.
Yeah.
So I started doing sorts of performance things. I found out theater wasn't exactly my jam. I did still do theater classes. I loved it and stuff like that. But I really liked sort of a little more debate. I did mock trial. Okay. I did debate. I did public forum. I did every sort of like thing like that I could get my hands on. You know, Model UN, all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
I love sort of a more professional argument, I will say.
Yeah, okay.
You know, because if you're going to perform with people, you have to rely on them having skills and backing you up and stuff like that. Okay. But all of these sort of things, they were individual. Or like, you know, you had a small team and you could get them together and write their stuff for them if you needed to. Because I really enjoyed not only the performance part, but also the competitive piece. Ooh. And so Magic really fills both of those for me in like a beautiful slotting into both of these needs that I have way.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I could see there is a interesting like cross section of, you know, something like Commander, for example, is you kind of get the ability to build all kinds of weird zany decks, but you can still go out and try to win the game with your weird zany deck, right? You can be competitive, and there's some politicking involved sometimes in Commander if you really want to. So I could definitely see how it could be a pretty big allure for a player of your sorts to kind of really like dig their nails in, the iconic nails, the cloth. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny that you went from theater to Model UN. What's Model UN like? I feel like I've only seen it on TV. Like,
it was very stressful. You have like a very short kind of time to do your little speech, and if you mess up, you know, there's like no second chances or anything. But I shine. Put me on.
I'm ready, Coach. Put me in.
Yes.
So
this is me trying to get on the main stage.
You know what? I'm just like, you know who we need some hosts. Like I can see Jana hosting something. Give her a panel, give her something, get her up there with.
You hear that, Watsy?
Yeah, let's do it. I will. I'm gonna start the hashtag. Host Jane. I can't think of anything clever. Jane for host. Main stage Jane. Jane does main
stage Jane.
Main stage
I love
Jane.
It.
There we go. Hashtag main stage Jane. And start tweeting.
Everyone in the comments, there's your homework.
Like, who is this guy? What is it? What do we? There's not even a convention for 6 months. Like, what are you talking about?
Who the fuck is Jane?
That's too funny. But, well, I mean, talk about hosting some stuff outside of the show. We've kind of alluded to is the alliteration's killing me. Tabletop Talks is a another kind of show that you operate in conjunction with Ryan, last name escapes me at the moment because I didn't.
Brian and Sana.
There we go, Ansana. Based out of the Tabletop Jocks Discord / show server, all that kind of good stuff. Friend of the show, Joe Johnson. He's been on here. Gosh, he was on here years now. Wow, that's wild how long that's been. What is Tabletop Jocks for my audience? Like, what exactly is that show?
Tabletop Talks is sort of a community info share. So when it very first started, Joe just made this Discord and invited a bunch of creators in, and he was like, I'm here to help you sort of figure out what you need to grow. Because there's not like a path available to like becoming a magic creator. It's not like you can't just Google it and figure out how to do it or anything.
Yeah. It's
kind of hard, and you have to learn 20 different jobs and maybe 30 different skills in those jobs to be able to put out content at a medium level of proficiency, Like I built my PC all the way from the ground up.
Oh,
so
wow.
like all of the adjacent skills that you need to be able to be a streamer on a reasonable budget are like multitudinous. So any sort of thing where you can help other creators access that information, I think is really, really powerful. And it creates community, and it promotes sort of the rising tide that raises all ships to where all magic players, all magic creators are a little bit better for it. Gatekeeping information helps nobody, and people are going to figure out your information sooner or later. Yeah. And if the information is all you have that is keeping you apart from the rest, something is wrong here.
This is very true. Yep.
So yeah, Joe started this talk, and he did like a Q&A session, and I saw that, and I was like, I have experience running Discord info shares. Tap me in, Joe. And so I basically sort of took over the Discord, and we've been hosting Tabletop Talks in there every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time since then. So
very cool.
Now we have 2 additional hosts. We've got Ryan and Zana, who's also hosting, and Magic Misha Migo, because believe it or not, it is expensive of your time to spend an hour every Wednesday and a bunch of extra hours coordinating and stuff. So we're kind of sharing the load there, and that's something that I have had to learn how to do a little more effectively.
It can be hard learning to coordinate and what's the word? You pass off responsibilities you had to someone else. Long day, brain is not firing. Dictate.
I am a little bit of a control freak. I always want to make sure it's done on my terms, on the right time, and to my specifications.
Gotcha.
So, it's important to be able to
delegate
things over to other
people. Delegate is the word I was looking for. Delegate. Yeah, it could be. It could be a lot. Like, especially if you've done something for a little bit and like trying to learn how to like give up some, putting kind of like you've mentioned in terms of like having to deal with other people, being relying on other people for stuff. You're delegating tasks. Like, I'm going to trust that you're going to do this to the same level I would have done it, and kind of be willing to
1,000% props to everyone who has. By the way, you're amazing tabletop talkers, and I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for keeping me sane.
Yes. Shout out Misha Migo too. She's amazing. She's one of my favorite people. Every time I get to see her at a convention, she actually got me a Phil Thip pin from Vegas. Last Vegas or two.
Our Philbithip Queen.
Where he had, oh my gosh, yes. When we were holding a camera as a photographer, it meant a very good deal to me, so that was super sweet of her. Amazing cosplayer as well. She just, talk about no fear in cosplay. You're pretty close. We'll get to your cosplaying as well. But it's hard. I mean, Misha just, when she goes in on it, she's, the
Slimefoot, the grist, exquisite.
And the Philbithip, here's the Philbithip right here. I'll have to ask her that's okay. She'd probably be cool with it, but so Tabletop Talk, super cool. I have been on an episode. It was super stressful on my end. Nothing that you guys did at all. Y'all were amazing.
It's the magic of the theater.
The
stress melts away when you're live.
Yeah. I felt pretty prepared. I was more worried about getting prepared, but then I did a thing, and I was like, I felt pretty good about this. I did about photography. Who would have guessed? Hope it was interesting. I don't know.
It was great. It was so informative.
I try. So it's funny because you talk about I've talked about on this show too, for creators. A rising tide lifts all ships. That's a kind of a sentiment I've echoed here, because I think a lot of times people, especially new creators, will worry about like, oh well, I have to compete for views or this or that. But it's like, no, there's enough views to kind of go around. Like, as long as you're staying true to your content, I think you'll find success will come through that, versus trying to compare yourself to others or being like, oh, I wish, I should have got this over this person or that. It's, really focusing on yourself, I think, is a main aspect of being a creator that kind of really separates some of the more successful from the non-successful.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of, I used to do, when I got started doing, I did wedding photography for a decent while. I guess I technically still do.
That must have been difficult.
It's wedding photography. It's as like a newer photographer, kind of someone starting out. It's a good way to make money. Like it's really like the only way to make money when you really are unknown. But it gets super stressful because it's like 8 to 10 hour days. The bride, depending on the couple, it can be.
She's in full cosplay.
Yeah.
Face and makeup she's not used to.
Yeah. And just the thought of messing it up, like that started getting to the point where I was just too terrified about. I never had any issues, but I was always just like, I just don't want to get to a point where it's like, oh, that was bad. Because you can't really make up wedding photos easily. But, I knew some wedding photographers, and I remember, reaching out to a few people, just asking nothing too questions, like, oh, how did you shoot this? What did you, what lens did you use here? How'd you light this? A lot of them were very protective of their,
closely guarded secrets.
Yeah, and I'm like, people get married all the time, right? It's not like there's a lack of wedding clients out there. So I think I was kind of like, okay. I remember I always really appreciated this one photographer, her name was Michelle Kim. She was super open and just told me anything, and I was like, oh, you know what? See, the way you talk to me about this, like, I'm going to remember this, and anytime anybody asks me anything about anything I do, be it photography or whatever, I'm an open book. I will, if I can explain it in a way that makes sense, that's what I'm down to do. So I think that
touches people. They remember that.
So I've also worked customer service and like tech support for like 20 years, so that probably is part of it too. Why I like just explaining things to people, but yeah, awesome kind of just a wide variety of contributors and topics, like stuff. Sometimes I'll see different promos for the episodes, and I'm like, oh wow, this is it's a little like out of the box for what you might think from like Magic creators or just Magic content in general. It's which is good. It's entertaining. I think it's nice to see some new and innovative content kind of being put out there out of the world. Let's see. So aside from that, you also recently have become one of the presidents of Birds of Paradise.
Yes. You may address me as Madam President.
Madam President, Her Highness, Your Majesty, if I may.
I love it.
So I've had, I guess it's just me, working this, the royal we, because we are in the presence of a queen. A lot of birds on in the past. And one of my favorite questions is to just kind of ask, like, what does the Birds of Paradise like mean to you, and like, what do you envision their influence to be like in Magic? Like, what is your kind of goal for the kind of group, especially now as someone at kind of the upper echelons of the group?
Yeah. So we're working on a lot as Birds of Paradise kind of behind the scenes. So I'm really excited to relaunch us. We're hoping for a January relaunch. So keep your eyeballs peeled for more information about official relaunches and stuff.
Yeah.
But what Birds of Paradise means to me, it's a table with a purple tablecloth that I know I am allowed to sit at, that I am invited to come to and sit at. And if I sit down there, everyone is going to respect me. I'm going to be able to play a game of Magic that feels real and genuine, and I am going to be able to stand up for myself and negotiate for myself and have the kind of game that I want to play with 4 loud gay people yelling at the table. My dream.
Your dream.
I remember the very first MagicCon that I went to was Vegas 2024. And that was the MagicCon where I was like, maybe I want to be a Magic creator. I'm toying with putting out this kind of content. I was doing D&D YouTube content at the time.
Oh, okay.
And sort of looking for a new thing to move into that people would actually watch. I love playing D&D. No one's watching your 6-hour role-playing game on YouTube, which is a real tragedy. It's hot stuff. It's real fun.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty sad that didn't take off more, but, I'm always grateful when I get to be a player in other people's D&D projects, and someday maybe we'll have the audience to invest back in that. But anyway, Magic filled that space in a lovely way for me. And when I first came to the MagicCon, Birds of Paradise section was the place that I went to. I was like, oh, there's like a queer section at this MagicCon. I'm going to go introduce myself to people there. And that's where I met pretty much everybody in the creator scene. That's where I met Misha in the Birds of Paradise group.
Yep.
And all of the creators who sort of really practice what they preach about that rising tide, raising all ships, who reached down and who pulled up my ship and, bailed out some of the water for me. Or I don't know where we're going with this metaphor. But those connections I really credit to starting my career. And Birds of Paradise to me is hosting a space and creating an environment and a community that can do that for other people. Because I want to see us all here making loud gay tables.
There you go. Loud gay tables. Some of the best tables, let me tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned that first Vegas MagicCon. I think you sent me a photo, and I was like, is this you in the background? We didn't know each other yet. I'm like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, that is me. How weird. I think because in retrospect, were you just as Velma? Was that the Velma?
Yeah. I did a bunch of cosplays that were not Magic Universe, because those are the ones I had in my closet in that moment.
I mean, you say that now, but give it like a few more years, and you never know. They could.
I did a Ursula, which that one's not coming anytime soon. She's busy over in Lorcana.
Maybe, but I would not be surprised. Listen, if there's one thing the mouse likes, it's money. It's, anyways, yeah, it's
if they
funny.
do a Scooby-Doo one, we're going to be eaten. I've been doing the Hex Girls pod on my stream. So people come on and make a deck of the Hex Girls, the like hot goth girl band from the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
My fans would go rabid for a Velma deck.
I kind of almost surprised we didn't get like a secret lair when murders at Karlov Manor.
Been so good.
Yeah. I mean, so that's
you got Clue.
Clue, yeah. Hey, where's my I can't remember his name. I gotta ruin this. That joke is lost. Couldn't get names. But yeah.
We'll do a little Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, Scrappy Doo. Do people like Scrappy Doo? I think they don't like Scrappy Doo. No.
The people hate Scrappy Doo.
They hate Puppy Power. Puppy Power. See, I was
the
always...
people love Puppy Power. The people hate Scrappy Doo.
True.
Wrong Puppy Power.
Yeah. I was always a big...
Maybe that one's a little too spicy for the pod.
I'm as spicy as a saltine cracker. That's the real problem.
Mm-hmm.
I was always 100 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo? Whatever the one where Shaggy wore a red shirt, that was the one I always watched, which is weird. Narrated by the really famous horror guy. I don't know. Now I'm rambling. Lost time of thought. Anyways, Birds of Paradise. More important. Magic Vegas on. Because I remember seeing you as Velma. When I saw the photo of me, as you, I was like, oh, I remember seeing you there. We had not
I'm
met
unforgettable.
Yet. I actually don't. Can I tell you? I was thinking about this. We were kind of talking. I don't even remember how we met. Like when were we on a stream together? Okay, it's now coming
I think so.
Whose stream was that? It was you.
Oh God, that's an eternity ago.
I know it all blurs together, but was it the someone play? I don't remember. I can't remember. But we were on a stream together. I think that's what it was, and then it must have just been on like Bluesky, and then I found you at Vegas this past one.
I'm that person who will just, if I even a little bit know you, even if I don't know you, I'm going to come up and I'm going to talk to you. Especially if I'm at MagicCon, the vibes are right. I'm so chatty and friendly.
Well, good. I mean, because I need that a lot of times. Because I will eventually, if there's someone I need to talk to, I will go talk to them eventually. But it's usually a lot of like, you can do this. You're a winner. You're smart. So like, the fact that
I'm doing that too.
Yeah. Well, you had such a cool. I mean, between you and your partner, that the gamut of cosplays you had and how good that Doc Ock was amazing.
Ooh, thank you.
Again, I keep saying we'll get to the cosplays, but like the Doc Ock, the Storm, and then Aang, right? Aang was the day 3.
Yeah. I
amazing.
cosplayed as Aang on the day that the Aang preview card was released, and I was the most popular person in the room, and it was such an experience. Thank you, Wizards.
There you go.
You did it just for me, I know.
Staring at Mark Rosewater, even though he has nothing to do with content creators. See me, Mark?
This is a Chris Mooney. It was them.
There you go. Yeah, I've gotten so off track. We're talking about Birds of Paradise. Very awesome group.
We love Birds of Paradise. They're incredible, and I'm so truly honored to be carrying on the torch here. And I hope that we can be what Bop was for me when I first started.
Well, I'm sure they're in good hands because it's you and Commander Zoe.
Command Zoe.
Zoe.
Yeah. She's also president.
Yes.
Madam President.
Madam Presidents. Zoe. Okay. It's funny you see names sometimes, and I'm like, is it Zoe or Zoe? Because you just read it, and you don't. It's in your brain, but you don't.
It's Zoe with no Y.
Zoe with no Y. Yes, I think the group is in very good hands. I look forward to seeing what you all do with it's under this new leadership, and we'll continue to support you in any ways I can. If you have any help with things, feel free to ask. So, okay, I've talked
You're
about
a bird. It's official.
Oh, caca. Okay.
You hear that, viewers? If you want to be a bird, you're invited.
There
Come
you go.
ahead.
Everyone, see, that's everyone's welcome at the table. That's it's an important aspect. I think not to get too philosophical, I suppose, but there's I think one of the beautiful things about Magic is it's a game for everyone, and I think sometimes people lose sight of the importance of remembering that this is a game for everyone. Everyone is invited, and we shouldn't let others put up unnecessary gates or roadblocks to letting people enjoy playing the game, because at the end of the day, it's just a game, right? And that's I think that's why organizations like the Birds of Paradise are so important, because it allows people who may be interested in playing but who do not see a path to entering the game, it gives them an on ramp to no, come sit with us, let us show you what playing Magic can be, and what it's supposed to be, right? Because I can imagine especially if you're a femme or presenting in a space that's dominated by a male straight white guys or whatever, it can be intimidating, right? It's not, I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. So I think you have people who are no, come with us, let us show you the way, what and talk about Zoe. I think she's kind of come on the scene and really embrace that, and we've from, I don't know her, I've never had a chance to speak with her.
Zoe's incredible. You should have her on.
That's I would absolutely love to. I'm hoping maybe if she's in Vegas, I can just introduce myself. But just seeing her come into space and again you've talked about in terms of cultivating a community and cultivating a space, and just the success she's been having in those spaces. It's heartwarming to see. You know what I mean? That's the magic of this silly little card game we play. So
it's incredible, and I respect the hell out of Zoe for building the community that she has from it. They're so close and tight knit, and everyone knows each other, and yet you still feel like when you show up, you are welcome in the pod. Yes. And that's so hard to do.
It is. It takes a skilled hand to do it, And I think when you find someone who's earnest in their passions and their endeavors, I think that really translates, and I think we've seen that with Zoe. And like I said, I've seen it with you, and I've seen it a lot of other creators. But I think that's it's great to see. It makes I enjoy seeing that the nice, the beautiful part of the beauty. They call soccer the beautiful game, but this is the beautiful part of the game is on the Magic side. Makes metaphors.
I want to shout out the other people on the BOP team too.
Yes, please.
We have Cass Hines, who is Strixhaven Dropout. She's incredible. Mm-hmm. We have Magic Mishimigo. I've already talked about how much I love her. She's my favorite cosplayer. Yep. She's so smart and so good at event hosting, and we're really excited to have her too. Yep. And then we also have Dr. Smallstuffs, who is a community moderator. So we have sort of a wide range of experiences and people who are all in addition to being funny and incredible performers, are all dead serious professionals and so good at what they do. And I'm really excited to see what we can turn BOP into.
That's great. Looking forward to it for sure. It's funny. One last note, I guess, on this before we're going to move on is, for new creators or people entering the creative space, I think what you said is very important to kind of take to heart. Is they're fun and they're into it, but they're also professionals, right? There's a level of professionalism involved when it comes to any of this kind of stuff, right? Even for me, I have a relatively rinky-dink kind of operation going on here, but I try to also maintain a level of professionalism, engaging with guests, and when I meet people and kind of following up. So like I think that's important to people. If someone's coming, watching this and like listening to you for advice, like listen to Jane. Like being professional is an important part of being a creator. So
it is so important. It sort of feels like we're all just hanging out and doing fun things, and we are to a certain extent, but also we are showing up to work, and you have to be somebody who is known for being on time and being respectful and being like kind to other people. And if you don't cultivate that sort of identity, people don't want to invite you on and hang out with you. So like there's the social aspect, but there's also the professional aspect, and they both like touch each other.
Yep.
I have lots of friends who I would never want to work with, and I have lots of people I work with who are not my friends,
Yep.
And that's true in any sort of creative space. I've been doing content creation for 10 years in all sorts of spaces. Every community has that sort of connection and also that sort of dissonance in how you have to engage with each other, because you can't just be 100% real and your fun offline self all the time.
Yes, this is very true. So
yeah.
Okay, moving to less cosplay. I just want to talk about cosplay.
Let's talk about something fun.
Yeah, that was a fun, but it's good advice. But let's cosplay. Like so, that's really how we initially connected was through your cosplay. Obviously, I like to do photography. Cosplay photography is one of my favorite things to do at conventions.
And the photos you took, spectacular.
Oh, that's literally like all I need is to hear when people get my photos. Like, oh my gosh, these are so great. I've never had professional photos.
Put them out, and they're on my fridge, and all of my friends who come by are like, "Wow, is that you?"
Honestly, that is the greatest joy I get is if I can give someone like a print, and I hear they have it up somewhere, like because for me it's like a signpost of like, oh no, like you've done something that someone appreciates in a way where like they have it displayed somewhere, right? Like if they didn't like it, they'd be in a drawer or whatever. But when it's up somewhere, I'm always like, oh yeah, like that. My photo is like hanging like in some. Jane has a photo of me of I took of her in her fridge. Like that's pretty. People are gonna see that photo. I'm like, oh, who took? Like where did this come from? And like, oh yeah, my friend.
Put that one of Ricky up.
Yeah,
that's America's ass.
God, I love that photo of Ricky so much. Like. The light, that dramatic lighting is. I should post it here. I'm gonna post the two. I'm gonna talk about. Here's a funny, like an inside baseball thing, right? I'm doing so much more work now because I gotta find these photos and I gotta actually make a note of what time this is. I'm gonna sit through. I gotta.
Here's an assignment for you.
Here's an assignment. Okay, but yeah. So, you have. Even we're talking about the first convention with you cosplay every day, so that's 3 cosplays. I don't think people realize like that's a lot of cosplay. So let's start at the beginning. Like when did you what interests you in cosplaying? When did you start cosplaying? What was some of your early cosplays? And what is that like? What has drawn you to cosplay? I can guess, but tell me what has drawn you to cosplay.
I love to dress up. I love it so much. I have always been so moved by like a fancy outfit, doing my hair and my makeup, not that I have any hair right now, but I have plenty of hair in my closet.
There you go.
But it's just like the vibes and the energy, and it's almost sort of a permissiveness that you get being a character instead of yourself. You can act a little differently. You can be a little more bold. You don't have to, go home and still maintain that character. You can take it off with your makeup.
Yeah.
I love that piece of performance. And even with like, mock trial and stuff like that, being a lawyer and putting on that outfit is still a pretend,
Yeah.
And that really conditioned me to see every moment where I am, out and doing a character as a piece of pretend that I get to enjoy and eat up that.
Yeah.
I love being somebody's favorite character. When I was Velma and Ursula that first year, so many kids came up to me because those are like, universally beloved characters by kids and their dads. And the kids came up and talked to me, and I have like, I always have little things to give out to people, little treasures of some kind. And like giving those to kids, making their little day, seeing them smile and stuff. And, there's magic in that. Yes. It's a piece of like live theater performance that means you don't have to memorize lines and rely on other people to memorize their lines.
Yes.
You can just go and say, jinkies and be cute, and that's all you have to do. And you still get to do the dress up.
Yeah. what was like? Do you remember what your first cosplay was, or some of your early cosplays?
Ooh. I would say some of my first cosplays probably started out as Halloween costumes because that's the excuse that you get to like dress up and go out in a costume. I did a lot of vampires.
That tracks.
I love to put on pointy teeth and be a little evil. I don't know that I know what my first cosplay was. Maybe the first one I did really big was Ursula. Okay. I didn't make the costume. I'm a costume buyer. Sorry, I do not sew. I am not that cute.
Hey, some people got to do what you got to do,
My art is in the makeup, the transformation, and the acting, and that's something. But the Ursula costume, I bought this, like, complicated costume, and I had to make a bunch of modifications to it because it didn't fit right. And the whole bottom half, like, is inflatable. It's like a blow-up kind of thing with tentacles. Like those blow-up dinosaur costumes or whatever you see people wear. So it's like, it's a costume that you don't wear to the event. You have to put on there, and, like, you can't walk around outside in it. So that was my first really complicated, like, beautiful piece that I'm really proud of. I made a gravity-defying wig, which was a terrible choice because I can wear that for about 2 hours before I get the world's worst headache of all time.
Oh, really?
You learn a lot on your first ones.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm sure. I thought, so you did this past Vegas one, you did Doc Ock, which I thought was cool. You had the arms.
Yeah.
Did you
made
make
out of dryer tubing?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, yeah, that's so smart because it's relatively lightweight,
Yeah.
And it looked amazing.
It was delicious. I did, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm sure it's come up on screen or whatever. Maybe, I don't know if Drew's doing homework or not.
Hopefully I'll be good and I'll get my homework done tonight on time.
But it's a cosplay from the Magic the Gathering spread that they released, the first one with all of the 6 cards or whatever. So it's the, like, bright yellow and green outfit, like, really hideous, like, bowl cut and stuff. And I did it, but I just did it in drag. So, big old long nails and everything.
And so, again, like, your dedication to cosplay, and maybe, I don't know if this is 100% why, but your head is currently shaved because you did, this is going to be my belief, for your Aang cosplay. Is that true? So
I did shave it for the Avatar cosplay, and I've been maintaining because, it's tomorrow is the Avatar pre-release.
Yes, it is.
Blast from the past in the future when this comes out. So yeah, tis the season for shaving my head and painting a big blue arrow on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it takes a lot. I feel like it takes a lot of dedication to your craft to, and not to be, whatever, but especially for a female for a cosplay. Like, that's a big commitment.
Actually, I love shaving my head. It's very freeing. I have people, at the grocery store stop me and tell me they've always wanted to do it or whatever. Nothing has made more women come up to me in public. The girlies really love the freedom, the, like, rejection of patriarchy that it symbolizes.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, not doing my hair in the morning saves me so much fucking time. Like, it must be great being a man.
Yeah, traditionally men have had it so hard other than our hair, so it's one of those things I just have I have a bunch of gray hair, so I'm considering, like, man, do I want to do, like, a Mr. Fantastic cosplay, or, he's got the gray, or even, I feel like I could pull off a Doctor Strange, but,
the big old collar? Hell yeah.
Yeah, a lot more elaborate. That's the thing. Like, I'd be like, I'd have to buy.
That's a Marvel cosplay. You could buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Fantastic would be like a jumpsuit. It'd be a little too form-fitting. That scares me. I think, because sometimes I rock the goatee. Well, I don't do the full goatee, but I could do a goatee. I feel like I could pull off the Doctor Strange look.
Hell yeah.
But
I just want to say everyone should do more form-fitting cosplay. Make it sexy.
Yeah.
Wear the tights. Just put your ass out. It's incredible. It's so freeing.
Yes.
And A, the people want to see it. And B, you will feel so hot and so cool and so sexy. And afterward, your confidence is like, above the clouds.
Yeah. You know who does a good form-fitting cosplay? Shout out my good friend Cop does a Spider-Man.
Hell yeah.
Friendly neighborhood cop.
Spidey is so hot.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite costumes. Just running around in that thing. He knows what he's doing. So
there's that. I think Spider-Man is a particularly popular cosplay because it gives you that freedom of anonymity with the mask.
Yes.
That freedom of putting on a character and being the weird person.
Yeah.
I think, like, imagine like a college football mascot or whatever too. You can't see who it is. They're getting really weird in there.
That was
you have a lot more freedom to be and perform.
Can I tell you, one of my biggest regrets from college was I I found out that, so I went to UC Irvine, Ripple Meter, Zot Zot. Our mascot was Peter the Anteater, and they didn't like have, I don't know if they had like a dedicated person who was the person who wore the costume. And there was I think it was my second year, we were going to a bunch of basketball games, and you just like, they would sometimes just ask people like, hey, do you want to wear the costume? And my buddy Shane wore it once, and I just never got a chance. I always had a dream of like wearing the costume. I just never did.
It smells in there.
I'm sure. Another thing too, like I think since it rotates people, like no one's like really maintaining the maintaining it, so it probably was pretty gross in there. I might have also
It's
been,
worth it.
I might have been too tall too, because actually I think one of my photo editors for the newspaper, I think did it a few times, and he was not a tall person, so I don't even know how that would have worked out for me. But one can dream to be a school mascot.
All right, here's one more thing I want to say about cosplay before we move on.
Yes, please.
When you do cosplay, just do it shit. Just make it out of duct tape, and it's not a thing you're going to use for longevity. You're not making the most beautiful piece of clothing that you wear forever. And if you are, that's great. And this does not apply to you, and you know who you are, and you don't need my help. So
Yeah.
But if it's a cosplay, it's okay to just put a staple in it, and that's where it is, you know? You might get that staple in your leg later. Just be aware.
Yeah,
but
I kind of regret, I almost had a Final Fantasy cosplay for this past Vegas. I had a Lock Cole Final Fantasy 6 kind of look. Very simple. It's just, it was jeans, brown boots. I had a blue members only jacket. I had the bandana and like the belt buckle, and I was too shy to wear it, and I kind of wish I had.
All right, here's my challenge to you. Wear it to
boy.
Vegas this year.
Oh gosh, I guess I
do it. You look so cute.
I think I have it all bounced around, and it wasn't. It wasn't even like, it was all just like normal clothes. It was like a white T-shirt.
It's the best cosplay. You're gonna be comfortable all day.
Bandana, and I found like a belt buckle that looked pretty much exactly like his for like $10 off Etsy. So I just didn't pull the trigger. Well,
cosplay's hard to walk into the room. But once you walk in and people look at you and they're like, hey, Final Fantasy, I know that.
Yeah.
The first person who gives you that feeling, then, you're set for the rest of the day.
This is very
Juiced
true.
you right up.
Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody else who looks stupid to walk in with you. I highly appreciate my partner, Ricky, for dressing up, doing stupid stuff with me.
There you go. That's the sign of a good partner, I'd say. So, I also, speaking about Avatar, which by the time this comes out, will have been out probably about 2 or 3 weeks.
I hope your drafts have gone well.
I'm actually not. I never watched it. I must confess, I've never seen Avatar. I do not.
It is a kid show. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's very cute, and it's very good.
I've heard it's good. It's one of those things where I think it came out in that weird period where like I just exited being a kid, and I was like, you hit a point where you get old enough where you can kind of go back and watch kid stuff again. So I think it was like end of high school, beginning of college. It was on, and I was like, in college. And then, like, I didn't have a TV either. I didn't have, I graduated high school. I don't think I owned a TV for, like, 4 or 5 years because I didn't have one in the dorms, and you're doing stuff. So it's always been one of those things I wanted to go back and watch. So I'm like, okay, Avatar. Like, I've seen some cards. Looks cool. Toph, metal bender, interesting deck idea. But you got to host an Avatar panel quiz.
Yeah, it was an Avatar-themed trivia. And we all dressed up as the Ember Island players and asked questions. It was such a blast. Speaking of bad cosplay, we were the Ember Island players, so bad cosplay was encouraged. In fact, that's the thing we're doing.
That was, that's a super cool experience. How did that kind of come about, and like, what was that? What was that like for you?
I just am a little Avatar freak, and I love it. And I had already been shaving my head, and so I got the costume, dressed up, did the whole photo shoot, and then I messaged Wizards of the Coast. I applied for every possible thing that I could. I was like, listen, I will put on the best Avatar event of your dreams. Please let me do this. And I got together with a bunch of my friends. We had about 15 people by the end of it doing all of these spectacular cosplays. Shout out to the people who really trusted me and actually made a costume, like worked on a custom costume for an event that I was hosting. It was my very first event, and they all like put that love in and really, they showed up, and they were incredible. And I don't think we even had a single drop of people.
Oh, wow.
Which I was really surprised about. people believed in the event and they loved it, and it was maybe the most fun at a MagicCon I have ever had. Just running around as my favorite little character, giving stuff to people. Incredible.
I think that's also a pretty big testament to what people see in you. So I think, congratulations for that. It's also another testament to like you we're kind of like, just apply. If you've got ideas,
just apply. Oh my God. There was no chance in hell I thought I was going to get this event. But I still talked to my friends, and I did the embarrassing thing of, hey, I want to pitch this event we probably won't get. Are you okay with me putting your name on it?
Yeah.
And they all did that for me. Thank you, Misha. They're incredible.
it's super cool because, like, I think sometimes it's weird with, like, the UB IPs and, like, Magic stuff, right? Because there was, like, weird stuff with Final Fantasy, right? I'm sure Square has a death block on that kind of IP for what Wizards can and can't do. There's no, like, hired Final Fantasy cosplayers for.
No.
But like.
Let me tell you, there were no hired Avatar cosplays either.
Yeah, which
we did not get paid, but we had a blast.
Yeah, but like the fact that they let you have an event is still pretty cool, right? I wonder if like someone had pitched a Final Fantasy thing, if that would have even been. Who knows? Like that's lawyer stuff.
I don't know.
It's just funny like how those things kind of work sometimes between like.
They got the digital rights to Avatar too, so.
Oh, that's.
I'm grateful.
Yes, that's not really go into that. That's a whole. That's a horse of another color. It's just weird. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, super cool that, I really hope that leads to more opportunities for you to host stuff and do events and get you on that main stage. That's the.
I can't announce anything yet, but look out for me in Vegas.
Look out.
It's my home turf, baby.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Jesus. Hometown hero, ready to rock and roll. So, Jane, thank you so much for sitting down with me this evening. Been meaning to do this forever. I've been a mess. You've been amazing. What I wanted to do, I'm going to pop up my community board real fast. And every time I have someone on the show, I like them to have pick a group or organization for me to just make a small donation to. Just like a small thank you for kind of hanging out and spending your time with me and just kind of be able to promote a cause that that's important to you. And you have chosen the SW Aid Collective. Which is a sex workers.
It's a harm reduction group. We give out micro grants and harm reduction supplies to sex workers in Las Vegas and across the nation.
Excellent. So sex workers work like there's a moral panic sometimes in this country on stuff that gets misdirected. So any small way we can kind of help people stay safe and have access to important. Be it money or goods they may need. I think that's important. So we'll make a small donation to that. And
thank you. Mutual aid is so important and so vital to our communities.
It really is. I mean, that's we're all in this together. We gotta stick with each other during these unprecedented times that we all kind of continue to find ourselves in. So, but yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I'm gonna make sure to link all your stuff below. If you've enjoyed hanging out with Jane, please check her out on YouTube. You can find her on Bluesky and all that kind of stuff. If you enjoyed listening to me go off on tangents, feel free to hit that subscribe button. That's kind of a fun thing. I've been pretty good about saying that at the end of episodes now. I usually just go, okay, bye, and we hang up.
Go hit that subscribe button.
Do it now. Maybe hit the like.
Like it while you're down there.
Yeah, don't hit the bell. We don't talk about the bell though. The bell is.
Leave a little comment. Tell us what you thought was the weirdest moment.
Oh, you know what?
Tell us the word I messed up or something.
If you leave a comment, you'll make my day, even if it's making fun of me. Because I get I don't really get comments, but anytime I get that little notification, like, oh, someone left a comment on this video, I run over and I look into it.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Make Tuesday.
Make Tuesday. So, Jane, thank you so much again for hanging out with me, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Bye.